excuse the mess, firstly, because I've just been working non-stop and not really tidying up. I was asked on one of my bits of social media, I forget which one, may have been coffee, can't remember, anyway, about showing some of my setup. So I thought, well, look, I'll start with my forge. I'll do a quick piece on this one and then another one on the other one across the way there when it's being used next. It's a bit difficult to see because I've got all the mess behind, but it should be enough by the time we're done. Now, something you need to understand about this mess of a forge was it was started as a prototype that I just quickly knocked up, and then I thought, well, okay, the concept is there, because it was kind of just a design and build. The concept is there, I'll replace that. Anyway, that was about 8 years ago, and I've been working with this little beastie ever since. So I use this for pretty much anything that will cram in there, and in the pictures I'll put up with this. You can see there's a giant greave, because you can only work one bit at a time, so I've put that in there, and I'll show you the other forge another time to how I get to large pieces. Now, the concept behind this, there were mistakes were made, and I didn't do any calculations, which is why I've got these lugs on here, because the whole thing was supposed to slot, so that would be and underneath there. And would be a lot slicker, but it didn't happen. I made some mistakes, and there they are. What this is it's a small forge, well, a small bin basically. Can't get a light in there very easily, but you get the idea. It's just there. So what this made from is these fire bricks. As a note for me to take my drill home tonight. But there's these fire bricks. There's one there, one on each side, two in the middle, two on the top. And the idea was, you can see the hinge here is barely holding together, and there are hinges around my anvil. I'm hoping, there it is, with my fantastic welding skills. There is another hinge there, and the idea behind this was, if I had to put something in there that was too big for this space, I could lower down the sides, which is what these handles are for here. If I can touch it, there we go. So that comes up, and the side opens up. So you've still got a bit of return on your heat around the edge walls, and you can put larger pieces in there. But to be honest, it's rarely I ever do that now. And I'm going to do a Forge Mark III, because this is the Mark II. The first one was just a hand-cranked barbecue, basically. So I'm going to do a Forge Mark III, and I'm hoping to film that build, because it'll be very different to this one. So anyway, to the build itself. There's a top plate here, and the idea of these struts at the back was so I could open the back off as well, and this brake drum is just holding the back in place, because I've never done that, so it needn't be like that. But the forge is basically a Ventura style downpipe, just goes down there, pop, in through that little welded lug there, which pokes out inside, there you go, through the two plates, through the two bricks, and that is kind of the forge. And I make pretty much everything in it that doesn't go on a chest or a head. Most metal fits inside it. If it needs bending first, I'll do it on the larger one alongside, which I'll show you another time. So I'm just fitting this in while some greaves I'm working on cooled out. It's had some damage and things. You can see where that just drops open, or used to, before I put the handle on. It cracked the bricks, but you know, what the hell. They've not come out, so we don't need to panic. And the bricks inside there, they just help support bits and pieces. So if I want to get the heat on a specific location, I can rest them on the brick. And that is kind of all there is to it. They go, this gets quite adventurous along here, my heat resisting apparatus. So this bit here, there we go, that little thing is how I turn it on and off. There we go. So the gas comes in, I chuck a bit of paper inside there, and it goes and we're away. But the pipe can get hot. It's sat in there. So I put this plate on first, and that wasn't good enough. So I then put an old greave like that I had lying around in there, but it wasn't really good enough. It was just a quick fix so I could continue working. And Kevin Legg of Plessis Armories advised me to get this stuff. It's like a glass fibre, and it resists heat. So I've put that over the tubes here, doubled it up there just because I had an offcut, so I thought, why the hell not? And this is an old bit of flue, or flume, from a customer's chimney, an offcut. and then that goes up, bounces its way across the roof and goes out through there. And then if we walk around, excuse all the mess and the broad sunlight, I'm assuming this is still working because I can't see the camera now. That comes into here where I have my propane tank, regulator, arrestor, and a little Y junction there. So this is for the small forge I'm talking about now. This is for the larger downpipe that I'll show on another video. So let's go back round here, past all the mess. Nothing exciting to see out here generally, and back into the workshop and back to the forge. So there you go. Look, the reason I wanted to show this is because you could get carried away. I would like a better looking forge. You know, hand on heart, it's not the greatest advertisement for my organisation or my company or me or whatever. It's so Heath Robinson, it's untrue. But it's not dangerous, it's never exploded and killed anybody, and it does the trick for what I need. But hey, look at it. It looks like a right old mess. I'm no welder, that's for sure, which is why I'm planning on upgrading it and have been for the last 8 years. But I've told myself it's going to happen this year. So we'll see. But basically, just propane comes down, goes into the Ventura. You have to muck around a little bit with this, but it's not rocket science. At some point you'll get the air mix right. Boff, down it goes into there. Out comes the hot stuff. It's reasonably heat efficient in there because it's all bouncing around inside itself, and you can throw in bits of material. Let me just check I can pick this up before I make a large shout. No, we're good. So, I mean, this greave is giant, but I was just working the end, so I can rest it in like that, and it grips hold of it. If I need to get it somewhere that can't quite, I can keep hold of it with the tongs, move it around, and it does just the job. So there you go, a quick and easy forge. Fire bricks, right angle metalwork, welded together, held in place, and then sort of working. Yeah, there you go. I don't know what else to say about it really. It's quite straightforward, but it isn't a very nice solution. It's not very neat and tidy. Could have been a lot neater and tidier, even if I'd have just drawn the idea on the back of a cigarette packet, as opposed to just going at it like I did. Because I thought this is a prototype that'll just get me out of the bind I was in then, keep me going for a couple of weeks, and then I could replace it. So there you go. I hope that's useful, and I will try and do another one on various bits of my workshop. I've been asked to do stakes, the different hammers, the forges, so this is one, I'll do the other one later, and my workstations. So I shall try and do them as I'm waiting for metal to cool down. But as you could see, that piece of metal I could just pick up, so I need to get back to work and crack on. So there you go, nice simple forge. Oh, one little bit about it that I haven't spoken about is it's attached to this bit of square that I managed to find, and you can see that I couldn't quite line that hole up. There's a couple of, there was one at the back holding it in place. So there you go. That's what's holding it up off the floor. It just goes up to there. So I hope that's useful to you. Stay safe in these strange times, and I can rattle a load of these through, and I hope you'll find them useful. It doesn't need to be pretty, it just needs to be safe and needs to do the job well enough, which this does just about, but it's time for the Mark III. So there we go. Take care, and I'll catch you on another day.